Blessed Monday, legends. You are now locked into episode 28 of The Black Sheep with your host, Jordan. Our podcast just hit a new era with some amazing new changes and features added to the company. Today's message is to lift yourself up no matter who counts you out. They think of you as the underdog, but in reality, you are that legend within you that needs to get shown to the world. I'd like to welcome our special guest speaker. He is originally from the Chicagoland area, however, did migrate to the Florida area, so shout out to Florida. He is an entrepreneur and motivational speaker with his own brand called Sylvie Mindset. Let's give a warm welcome to our guest speaker, Alexander. Welcome to the Black Sheep.
Man, thank you for having me, baby.
For starters, tell the viewers and tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, your starting story.
Yeah, it started, my personal development journey when I was 12 years old. I come from Chicago, so I was involved in gangs and, the criminal activity out there that's going on. And my cousins actually challenged me on a mission to, kind of break me out of that mindset of being in the gang banging mindset. And I took the challenge on, and it was to go and see if I could survive off the land in the country for 3 weeks. Well, it was supposed to be for 2 weeks. I ended up staying out there for 3 weeks. And during that time, man, I learned a lot of different skill sets, really challenged my mind and my mental toughness, and started really reforming my whole entire life. And, fast forward, now I'm here at this time in life where, I'm actually teaching people the same principles and started a brand basically off of what I learned in those woods for those 21 days.
Wow, that's amazing. It's obviously, that blessing that you were able to take of taking that risk, taking that challenge to go out there against your comfort zone and really fulfill your new destiny that God really had for you and, in your life and for your passions. So my next question is, what levels of obstacles? I know you mentioned with Chicago and being in the gang scene and all of that aspect, but what obstacles did you have to go through to turn your dream into the reality that you're living now?
It was so many different obstacles. Some of the first obstacles just becoming an entrepreneur was, taking risks, and mostly it's investing in yourself. Sometimes, you got to find a mentor or somebody to look up to, and, it costs money. So you got to be willing to, dive in to investing in yourself. And then, the struggles of moving to different areas. I was in Chicago, I was in Austin, Texas, and now in Florida. Kind of relocating to different areas that you can actually grow in. And, that's a risk alone, too. And those are some obstacles that I had to overcome, moving to new places, building new friendships, starting new adventures and things like that.
An add-on question, and you mentioned it briefly with investing in yourself. How important is it to invest in yourself?
Oh, man, it's so vital to not just your personal growth, for business growth, too. You could really, you have somebody that could stretch you. And think of a rubber band. A rubber band needs to be stretched. And, ourselves, we don't see we don't really have the skill to see who we really are capable of and what we are capable of. Someone else could actually tell us what we are more capable of. And, man, I believe when you get in the right place in the right time and you got the right leader in front of you, it's kind of like a discipleship, man. You could walk in these areas that you never walked in before. So I could say, man, it was the biggest investment. It was better than going to college. It was better than anything that I've ever done, was to invest in myself.
That's amazing. And now, with the Black Sheep and with a lot of our viewers and listeners and just the community we built up and that's around us, a lot of people do struggle with, they can invest in themselves all day long. However, their community, their peers, their loved one that's in their corner is doubting them and telling them that it's not achievable to go out there and, fulfill that dream. With that, why is it important to really, and I know you touched on it, but really to believe in yourself and understand that it's you versus you, and you have to be able to fulfill yourself and bring yourself out of that, those trenches, those hard times, those painful moments, and live that reality. So why is it important to actually believe in yourself and to go out there no matter how many times people count you out?
The biggest enemy is you. You're going to talk yourself out of it at times. It's kind of like when you go to the gym. It's like, oh, man, I'm sore from yesterday. So you're going to tell yourself, oh, I'm too sore to get up and go hit those weights. In personal development, it's really about your limit. It's really about your mindset. And I believe if you could really believe in yourself, you could change the trajectory of your whole entire life. That belief system is so vital. So when you can start believing in yourself, I mean, everything else comes after the belief system.
That's amazing. And that's definitely true. And I appreciate you for giving us that information. Now, to give the viewers a food for thought, what is it that you are currently doing?
Man, I'm working on a new program here. I'm about to launch here in a couple weeks. It's going to be a group session. We're going to cover mindset. We're going to cover mental toughness. We're going to cover your physical body. So I'm going to be able to actually assist you on, some personal goals that you're trying to achieve with physical conditioning. Because, you got to have that physical side and then the spiritual awakening side as well. So mind, body, spirit, that's like my core 3 values of my company. And we're just going to take it to the next level. It's going to be hardcore accountability. I'm going to have an app to be able to really track your progress. So if you're looking to gain some muscle, lose some weight, or just get back into the gym, this is going to be a perfect opportunity. It's going to be like having a personal trainer, an accountability partner, and a mindset coach that's going to help you reprogram the way you look at your image.
Wow, that is amazing. And I will make sure I tag his links so you guys can follow his Instagram page and check out what's coming next for him. Now, with your business and the new launch that you're doing, obviously, I know you have to be consistent and dedicated, but in your opinion, why is being consistent and dedicated so important in this life nowadays?
It builds that muscle. Man, it's all about showing up every day, right? Now, if you could just follow one task that's the hardest task of the week, or say you got today, the hardest task of today, most people put it on the back burner. That's why they go into the office on a Monday with so much stress. So what I like to do is actually tackle the first hard obstacle first thing in the morning. That's going to condition yourself. And once you start applying that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all of a sudden you get mentally strong and then becomes a pattern. And then you break out of those bad habits and form a new habit. So you actually, it's like going through a transformation. And over time, at 6 weeks down the line, 12 weeks down the line, 5 weeks down the line, if you stay dedicated enough, you will start seeing big progress in your life. It's all about consistency, man. I mean, you don't really even have to be skillful in any type of task, but if you could be consistent, you're going to win.
I love that. That's an amazing piece of information and advice that you can give to the viewers at home. Now, with everybody, and you touched on it earlier with mentors, and having a right mentor by your side and being able to develop and coach you, what does it mean? And this goes in hand with my question, but what does it mean to work together with somebody, if it's a mentor, partner, to achieve that same goal that you want to achieve in life?
One of my mottos is we're better together. So when you collaborate, you can make the dream work. You could be a one-man army for so long, but empires are not built by yourself. We got to lay a brick down. I might have a talent. You might have a talent. This is collaboration right here, being on the podcast. I could use my audience and your audience and stretch it further. So when you have somebody else on your side and working with you, you don't have that overload of work always in front of you. And with a coach, it's very important because your coach is kind of like your guide. He's not going to go there and babysit you and grab your hand and walk you through it. But what he will do is show you the process of going through it. Now, when you go through an obstacle, he can help you get out of your mindset and shift you in the right positive direction. And it's so important. It's like having a leader on your side, accountability partner on your side, and somebody that's already went through the flame.
That's amazing. And I appreciate that for letting everybody know that. Now I know obviously you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. A lot of the people that are listening to the Black Sheep are also entrepreneurs. However, for those people that are trying to chase that dream and that want to live that better life, what's that one piece of advice or two pieces of advice that you can give people that are scared to go out there, but they really want to live that better life?
All right. So, it's all goal setting. So this is your goal. You're trying to get there. Now you know your destination and you got to have a why. I like to tell my clients, write down 3 people that's aligned with your goal and how is that going to impact your life. And then what I want you to do after you write those 3 people down, I want you to call them and tell them that you got something in store for them. And then I need you to call somebody that holds you accountable to what you have to do. And if you could apply that in life, you will get to wherever you got to get to, because that why is going to get you over that obstacle. That why is going to eliminate that limited belief in yourself. And it becomes personal. A lot of people do not take an approach in life because it's not personal enough for them. And when it becomes personal, it's like you eat and sleep and breathe it. And that why will help you get over any obstacle. And as you get over many more obstacles, you will start seeing, man, you know what? This is my why is going to grow even bigger and 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 bigger. And that's the golden ticket, man, is having that why to back up whatever you're going to do. So, man, hey, I'm a life coach. There is no instruction manual for that, but I always wanted to impact people's lives. I got around the right people. They told me, hey, do this one thing. And then once I had that why, I took the step to dive in, because that why, it moves you, man. It drives you. It's that fuel it's the internal fuel. It's called burning desire. And it's backed with that why every time.
You have to have your why. That's a big thing that people really lack nowadays, is not knowing what they're doing everything for. Like, why are they actually grinding 10 times harder than the average person? So thank you for sharing that. Now, with entrepreneurs, obviously you've been in the game for a while with, being a life coach, having your own business, all of that aspect. With a lot of entrepreneurs, either newer or older, what advice can you give to them that are, either in a transitional jump between their lines or between their brands, and or are scared to expand to a different direction?
Don't be scared to get into the cocoon. I call it dark work. And the dark work is going to be that time where you're going to have to develop new skill sets, and practice and exercise and really self-reflect on what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right. One of the key components of being an entrepreneur is being able to balance the emotion, because you're going to go through a lot of different feelings, and those feelings you can't stop. But if you could eliminate that emotion, that's going to help you tremendously in adaptability, being adaptable. Because especially with this new technologies coming out, we got AI, we got all these new courses. So be open-minded. And when you're having to adapt to a change, take a step back and use your conscious mind to calm you down, to be a little bit more patient and overlook every obstacle, what 3 things that could possibly go wrong, and try to find a solution for them before you actually dive into it. But taking that step back, balancing your emotions, and adapting to change, those are the keys.
I love that. Thank you. And that's definitely something that's going to help a lot of people listening at home and or at work right now. Now, with the expansion part, and this goes more on a personal aspect, because I know a lot of people that I come in contact with actually deal with this and are scared to do so. And, you moved out of state from Chicago. I have moved out of state from Chicago before. Why is it not necessary, but why is it needed to leave your hometown? What benefits come behind leaving your hometown to expand either your personal development and or just life in general?
Man, that's a good one. Yeah. Really, it's to explore your horizon. I've traveled a lot in my life and moved in a lot of different places. And, your skill set from where I came from Chicago, carried on everywhere I went, but the environment changed. You get to meet new people. You get to actually find who you really are. And if you had some junk a long time ago that you had to get rid of, that's a perfect opportunity to start a whole new fresh chapter in your life. And I think that's the glory behind moving and exploring to new areas, is it's a whole new chapter. So you can you don't have to worry about what happened in the past and old friends that knew you. You don't have to worry about that. You got a whole new clean slate. So don't be hesitant to move to a different place. Don't be hesitant. If you wanted to, join, if you're trying to get into acting, sometimes you might have to go to California because the opportunities there are greater there. But it's going to be some struggles along the way. It's going to be, you're going to have to leave some of your friends alone. You're going to have to leave your family at times. But you got to look at what is your goal and why is it so important for you to relocate, and just know that it's a new chapter. That's it. If it's a new chapter, and wherever you want in this new chapter, it's up to you to write it. And it's a perfect clean slate when you actually relocate to a different area. And who knows, those areas that you move into might actually put you in front of you'll get closer to the people that are really going to help you, collaborate with you to get you to that next step. And sometimes you got to get to them.
Many key components in what you just said. So thank you for sharing that. Like Alex stated before, as well as I've stated many times on the Black Sheep, you can't be scared to jump. Life is already a scary thing in some aspects. However, you have to not live, you have to live every moment. Don't be on your deathbed saying that, damn, I should have moved to California. I should have moved to Florida. I should have moved. I guarantee if you would have asked either one of us 10, 15 years ago, actually probably longer for you, but if you guys would have asked us, hey, do you ever think of leaving your hometown? At that time, both of us, I know myself, would have probably said no, never. But you have to make that jump. It's with the collaborations, you get to meet so many people, guys, and you get to expand your horizon, expand your network, expand your knowledge. So my last sort of question, and this is something that I will lead out to end the episode with, but is there any big updates or announcements that's coming next for your business, coming next for you that you like to share?
Yeah, not just the program that is the new program that I'm actually going to be dropping, but I'm going to be launching a book here very shortly. We're in the process, already got the front cover done. It's going to get more into depth on the principles of what I actually learned while being out in the woods and moving to different places, different storms and different scenarios that I went through, different people that gave me advice and how that advice helped me. So it's pretty much like a survival guide to your life. And it's one of these things that I even struggled with writing a long time ago. So I'm getting closer and closer and closer down to actually doing the launch. There's nothing like actually launching a book, because you're actually being able to tell your story in written form. And there's a connection when you read something from somebody. It brings you to that place. And I'm really going to bring you into some dark hours, some really dark times where you're going to be able to I'm even going to tell you hey, take a step back. Don't turn the page yet. I want you to just reflect on this, because there's dark moments in everybody's life. But how do you really get out of those dark moments is what I'm going to really be getting in depth with in different stories, different scenarios. And, just supposedly, hopefully it helps people get out of those dark areas and shine into some light and, live a life more abundantly and prosper, because anything's possible. But it's really going to shift your mindset and really teach you how tough and who you really are with the force of God. So, be looking out for that. I'm probably going to be publishing it here in the next 30 days. So it's getting ready to get launched.
I can't wait to read that book. So make sure as soon as that's dropped, I will have to get that book sent out to the Black Sheep, so we can definitely review that and take a look at that. However, the big one that I'm super blessed to hear is that you have a lot of amazing things happening for you. And, the journey of you believing in yourself and actually motivating yourself. And like you stated earlier, finding your why. It's a passion that to be able to live that transitional period of time that you got to see the worst, you got to live the best, you got to live the different moments and expand to being able to have your own book, your own successful company, and be able to travel the world. That's a blessing. So I really appreciate that. I will make sure that I drop his Instagram link as well as this episode and his book information. That way you guys can take a look at that and read into more of Alex. Promise you guys, legends, you guys have to follow him. He is one that is going to inform you, he's going to help coach you, and he's going to help bring that life that you guys want to live to a reality. As just to sort of end this out, but Alex and I are more recent of meeting. Him and I actually got connected through a collaboration of a mutual friend of ours. And that's, as stated before, connecting, collaborating is big. It is something that is well needed nowadays, because him and I probably would have got connected, but it would have taken a lot longer if the connection wasn't there through a beautiful, amazing blessing and a connection that we both had. So I'm super grateful that we got connected. Thank you for taking the time to hop on the Black Sheep and tell your story. The Instagram link will be posted on this episode as well as the social media. The last big announcement that I personally would like to share is for all of my kings and queens out there. We have officially launched our CBD line. It is called Flock and Field Naturals. We will have a lot more information on our Instagram page, as well as going to be doing a whole podcast episode in relation to Flock and Field. So stay tuned for that information. To follow our Instagram page, it's at the Flock and Fields Natural, spelled just like that. Till next episode, which we will be dropping on Wednesday with special guest speaker for Wall Street. Stay tuned, stay blessed, and have an amazing day. Love y'all.